You ready?
It was 2017. I was as sick as I had ever been. At the time, I had gotten over 300 pounds. Got diagnosed with a brain tumor. There was one morning I woke up at 2 Chainz's house in Hollywood, and the room just started spinning. I passed out, and it was my brain tumor. It was wrapped around my left eye. It was wrapped around the artery that goes into the brain.
Wow.
Started corroding the top of my spinal cord, and the spine going up into my brain.
Right.
And it was just sitting on top of it because it was so big. And I was looking at my life as if, like, wow, like, that's my story. Like, and when you're facing death and you feel like it's over, you just get scared. And like, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, just come in town and visit me. But I didn't want to tell her what was going on with me.
Right.
And I said, I just need you to come visit me. And we spent some days together. And when you're broken, all you have left is your truth. Like when things are good, you think about, certain things. But when things are bad, you think about all the things you wish you became. And I went back to my childhood dream. And it made my heart sing again. Like, I want to be an athlete. Like, I've got to know I could do it. If I'm going to die, like, this is what I've got to do. And I made up my mind right then and there. We had just won a Grammy. And I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm retiring. I went to my artists. I went to my business partners. I said, I'm done. They're like, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to be an athlete. And that made no sense to anybody.
Yeah, it's the most obscure thing ever. So let's not rush past this now. So you're having amazing success. You built his career. You know what I mean? This is when you're still street execs, correct? Yeah. And you have this time where you're probably flying high up to that time. You have the Grammy win. You find out you're sick, right? And then what happens? Like what from you have that realization about being an athlete. But what happens? Did you have to go through? Were you sick for a long period of time, or what happened?
I had a few options. Medication that they were giving me wasn't working, so they were jacking up the dosage amount to try to shrink the brain tumor. It wasn't shrinking it. It started. There's one with this medication. It's the safest way to go, but it started affecting my heart valves. So my heart valves started making a noise. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, so going to try to fix my brain, but the medication is not working, so now it's affecting my heart valves. I'm feeling screwed here. I'm like asking the doctors, like, what is the root cause of this? Like, why do I even have a brain tumor?
Right.
And they're like, no, just take this medication, or you could do chemo, or we could try to cut it out, but it's a very invasive surgery and it's not recommended. And I'm like, okay, I'm kind of screwed. And then I thought, like, okay, and this is actually during the time I flew my mom in town. And something told me, I remember I was in Manhattan Beach in an Airbnb. I'm sitting on the couch, and I turn on the TV, turn on the Netflix, and something told me to watch a vegan documentary. And I'm from the South. I knew one vegan friend. I was like, vegans are
fried
weird.
Chicken, baby.
Like, we're eating fried chicken. I was 300 pounds. I was the king of eating food. Like, I'm like a big boy.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
And something told me that maybe it's the way I've been eating my whole life. Maybe that's why I'm sick. So what would be that one thing that would fix that? Because diets haven't worked. I've been on diets my whole life. I would starve myself. I would do keto. I'll do everything. I was like, all right.
So you were trying that stuff up to then?
Oh man, I've been on diet since I was 8. Like, I even ran 3 marathons. It's hard to tell the whole story because it's just difficult. I ran 3 marathons. First of all, I starved myself down 100 pounds at one point in my life, adult life.
Is this before?
This is during all my success. Starved myself down 100 pounds. Started gaining weight back. And during that time, I was like, okay, since I'm gaining all this weight back, it's really embarrassing. Like, people get so proud of you for losing weight.
Right.
And then the next time they see you, they're like, oh, Lord. Like, they don't even want to look you in the eye.
Right.
Like, they're like, oh, you like are losing, you're falling off again. So I was like, well, what if I run a marathon? If I run a marathon, there's no way I could gain weight. So I trained for 10 months, did the Santa Rosa Marathon, and through that process, I gained about 20 pounds because I would out-eat all my training. And then I was like, okay, let me do another marathon.
Wow.
Then I did a marathon in Atlanta. Then I gained about 15, 20 more pounds. And then I did the LA marathon that February. So I ran 3 marathons in the course of a year, and I gained about 50 to 60 pounds during that time. My heaviest weight that I ran a marathon was the LA marathon, 270 pounds.
You ran a marathon at 270?
Yeah.
Wow.
I kept gaining weight, kept gaining fat through all my training because I would have a binge eating disorder because right before I was starving myself so much. So I would have this fear of not having food and I would diet, but the running made me really hungry. So then I would just binge and I would still wake up the next morning and train. But then the same process would happen.
Crazy.
So I was trying my whole life. I was failing at my efforts. And then I watched that vegan documentary. And I changed everything. I changed how I ate. I then moved to LA. I left my business. I had to change everything. I changed what I was consuming, not just eating, but I deleted social media. I deleted television. I deleted friends. I deleted my city. I deleted everything. And I was like, give me a blank slate. I'm here to change my life. And nobody understood what I was doing, but I said, I'm going to be a Nike athlete.
Wow. You ready?